The WWDC is coming out very soon starting June 5th to June 9th, 2017, and the software is at the center of Apple. And Apple is really good at making and designing and updating their software. And that is one of the primary reasons that why I buy so many iPhone, iPad, and MacBook. It's because of its great software. And that is also one of the reasons that Apple is one of the most innovative companies in the world. It's because of its software. And the iOS 10, the watchOS 3, and the macOS 10.12, all these things are really almost close to the perfect, very close to the perfect right now. So I'm really excited to see what Apple can really bring to us, can really surprise us, can really amaze us in this year event. But there's one thing that Apple doesn't do very well in their software. And obviously, that is Siri. The Siri is voice assistant, but is far behind their competitors, like Google Assistant, like Amazon Echo, like Alexa, like Cortana, all these kind of things is far behind. And every time I want to ask a question for Siri and ask for an answer, it always gives me a result like, this is what I found on the internet, and I have to look at the display of the phone or my iPad. I have to pick the one results I'm looking for. It's so annoying. It's unlike Google Assistant that can present me the instant results, the exact results I want, and read it to me. Because that's the things I want, right? It's so clear, it's so good, and so very accurate for Google Assistant to do that. And Alexa is also a pretty great platform. I used Amazon Echo before. It's really efficient and really saves a lot of time. And I believe the voice assistant is really going to be the future. It's really going to be the future companion of our life. We really need a voice assistant to help us to do more things more efficiently, more quickly. For example, requesting an Uber, for example, call for food deliveries. There are a lot of things that can be done on the voice assistants. Even in the future, shopping can also be done on the voice assistant. As you see in this year Google I/O, they're really kind of pushing the transaction into the Google Assistant. Let Google Assistant do a lot of transaction type of things like shopping, like buying stuff. You just talk to your voice assistant for like maybe buy a clothes or buy a diapers, buy a lot of things. That could be done. And especially with the Alexa, great companion with the Amazon, you can just talk to the Alexa and order something from the Amazon. It just got your order in, and your stuff will just arrive within a few days. So all these things are really amazing. But consider the Siri is not that advanced, it's not that great, lack of functions, not far from perfect, far from great, far from its competitors. So that's why I think the Apple should improve their Siri, The second thing I want to see on this event is actually a totally new software platform. You know that iOS is great, the macOS is great, and you see my previous video I talked about that iPad Pro is a stupid idea. I said for many times I want a separating system for the iPad Pro. And there are a lot of rumors that Apple's going to announce a 10.5-inch iPad Pro on this event. And that is why it's so important and so urgent for Apple to design a brand new software platform that designed specifically and exclusively for the iPad Pro. The reason why iPad Pro is different than the iPad or the iPad Air is because it has a Pro name. That is why it deserves a Pro software platform, a professional software platform to run all these professional apps. But right now you see there's nothing that separates the normal iPad, the iPad Air with the iPad Pro. They are both running the iOS system, and the only thing the iPad Pro did better is probably its performance, it's probably its hardware part. And that is why it's so important to design a Pro software that's specifically for iPad Pro. And obviously, the iPad Pro doesn't want to use the macOS because that would definitely affect the market of the MacBook and MacBook Pro, and this is what Apple really don't want it to happen. If you really put in the macOS on the iPad Pro, then no one's gonna buy a MacBook. No one's gonna buy a MacBook Pro. The iPad Pro is cheaper and it's better than the MacBook. So I really want to see something that is based on the iOS platform, but at the same time, it had the capabilities of running a lot of professional apps, like maybe Adobe Photoshop, like maybe running like Adobe like Premiere Pro, all these kind of video editing apps, these kind of professional apps should be running on the iPad Pro. And that's what I'm really want to see for Apple to do, to design a totally different software platform for the iPad Pro. But I don't think it will happen in this year event at least, and I think it won't happen in the next few years because it's gonna be a very tough work. It's gonna be a huge amount of work. Apple have to put in a lot of effort on designing a specific software platform for the iPad Pro. So that is the reason I don't think they will do it this year or next year. The next thing I'm going to talk about is all of hardwares. I usually don't believe that Apple's going to announce any hardware on WWDC because this is the event that's specifically talking about software. But because there's a lot of rumors talking about the new iPad Pro, new MacBook, new Siri voice activated speaker, a lot of these kind of rumors coming up, and I think I have to talk about it a little bit because last 2 years they didn't announce any hardware pieces on WWDC, but this year there might be some things that surprise us. For example, the Siri voice activated speaker. But of course, if you want to make a Siri voice activated speaker, you have to improve on Siri itself first, make it more advanced, make it smarter, make it better, make it more powerful, add a lot of features, new capabilities to the series in order to really make a good voice-activated speaker just like Google Home and Amazon Echo. The second thing is the new iPad Pro 10.5-inch. Same thing. If Apple doesn't design a specific software platform for the iPad Pro, there's no big difference between the iPad Pro 9.7-inch versus the iPad Pro 10.5-inch versus the iPad Pro 12.9-inch than an iPad Air, right? There's no big difference. The only capability is probably that it's compatible with the keyboard and the pencil, which is not like a big revolutionary upgrade at all. And one of the big problems with the keyboard, you still don't get a trackpad. You have to always touch, and that really reduces the productivities. As Apple trying to make the iPad Pro as a machine that focusing on productivities, I really think they should really study from Microsoft a little bit. How they're making Surface, how they're making Surface Pro, how they're making Surface Laptop. All these devices awesome. It's so awesome. And the iPad Pro, it seems like I won't buy it at all because there's nothing that really attracts me. There's nothing that really like blow me away at all. The third thing is a MacBook. I don't think Apple will announce a MacBook on this event at all because imagine last time they upgraded MacBook, which is late 2016, they upgraded the whole MacBook Pro lineup. It's kind of like just more than a half year from June, so I don't think it's time for an upgrade. Maybe they're gonna upgrade to 7th generation Kaby Lake processors. I don't know that, but that would be a very minor upgrade. It would definitely not be a design change or revolutionary change. More likely, they will probably upgrade a 12-inch MacBook because 12-inch MacBook just upgraded. I think it's in early 2016. They have a minor upgrade on the graphic card to a 6th generation Skylake processor and added a rose gold color in early 2016. And this year, I definitely hope they can upgrade maybe the keyboard, the trackpad using the second butterfly mechanism keyboard, using better Force Touch trackpad. And yeah, that will be really good, adding to the 12-inch MacBook. And the MacBook Air seems like Apple is totally forgetting the MacBook Air. I think they're not going to continue the MacBook Air at all because the MacBook Pro, especially a 13-inch non-touch bar MacBook Pro and a 12-inch MacBook, is kind of replacing the MacBook Air, both the 11-inch MacBook Air and 13-inch MacBook Air. So I won't think that Apple will continue upgrading their MacBook Air at all. It's going to be just like a budget MacBook devices for customers to purchase, right? So that's kind of what you can expect it on this event. And my top wish list, definitely the Siri upgrade, and of course a brand new platform that designed specifically for iPad Pro. But I don't think the second thing, which is the new platform, will coming out in this year. But I believe that Siri upgrade will happening in this year event, and Apple would spend a lot of time talking about Siri in this year event because it was so important, and it's the future, right? And Apple knows that. So that's kind of a summary for this videos, and thank you for watching, and have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.